Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video we are going to talk about the SimpleFileVisitor, but we are going to talk about other methods. The pre-visit directory, visit failed. Actually, the visit failed we are going to skip, and the post-visit directory. So let's copy this class. Actually, let's first rename it here because we are not listing all files. We are listing all Java files. So just press Shift F6 and then refactor because it's going to change here and here as well. So now copy this SimpleFileVisitor test and paste it here by changing the last number to 2. You have to do a little change here because since this is in the same package, Java is having problems. Just rename these to list all files, and then here remove the if. And here also rename it, and here as well. Okay, so now that we have the list of files, SimpleFileVisitor, we are going to add all methods here. Press Ctrl O, or like this in Mac, and then select pre, visit failed, and post visit. Okay, so let's start with pre-visit directory. Let's remove this and let's add salt pre-visit file get file name and here .get file name. So as you can see, the pre-visit directory, it's basically every time you are visiting, opening, or going to directory, this is the one being executed. And the same thing we did for the visit file, we have to do for the pre-visit directory. What we want these to do. I want to continue every time they go into a directory. So let's execute Shift F10. And let me make things a bit clearer because it will be difficult to understand this way. Let's create a new folder here. I just copied, and then I will call this subfolder subfolder 1, or it was supposed to be subfolder 1. Right click, directory, subfolder 1, and then copy, paste it here, subfolder 2, and then here copy and paste subfolder 1. Actually, this should be under subfolder. And here you create a file, file 1 text, and here file 2, and here file 1. Okay, so we can work in this directory to understand everything that is happening. Let's change the paths.get and say we want to work with folder. Okay, Shift F10. It's executing the previous one. Ctrl Shift F10. So as you can see, every time we are visiting a directory, the pre-visit method is executed. So this gives you power to decide what you are going to do. And the behavior you are seeing here is not guaranteed. So it's not guaranteed that it will go in this order to have folder, subfolder, subfolder, and then read all the files and then go back. That's not guaranteed. I remember once when I executed, it was like folder and then test, and then it came back to subfolder 1. So there is no guarantee that it will go top down. Just be careful with that. So the pre-visit is going to be executed every time a directory is being like entered, and the file visit result, if you say skip sub3, basically it's going to skip all the files, the inner files that we have inside folder. And for the directory, the pre-visit directory, the skip siblings will have exactly the same behavior. So it is stated in the documentation. Now, for the skip siblings, going back here, continue, it works for the visit file. So for example, when I execute with skip siblings and visit file, once it reaches sub-file 1, it will skip sub-file 2 or any other sibling that we have here. So Shift F10. And as you can see, we have folder, subfolder, sub-subfolder, and then the sub-file, this one, and this sibling was ignored. And the visit file failed. Basically, if something happens, for example, you don't have permission, or maybe, for example, someone moved when you were doing something with that file, if any exception happens, the visit file will be triggered, and then you can do something here. Now, the post visit, basically, it's executed every time a directory is basically the file visit enters a directory and it moves and reads all the subfiles. So this is important. If you read the documentation, it's invoked for directory after all the entries in that directory and all their descendants have been visited. Now, this is important because you have to be careful, especially when you are working with skip sub 3. Let's add here post visit, Shift F10. So basically you have pre-visit, then all the entries, and then you have the post. And you will notice here the folder that we have available here, the pre-visit, we have the post visit all the way to the end. And this pre-visit subfolder, post visit subfolder. Now, when I change here and I say skip all the sub 3, you will notice that the post is not executed because the entries and all the descendants, they were not visited. So basically, that's how the SimpleVisitor works. Pretty straightforward. You have all the methods that will be called based on the behavior described in the documentation, and you can decide what you are going to do with that file based on your business logic. So I hope you enjoyed. Let's continue in the next video. Bye.